formed a relationship? I assume through Lauren London and Cassie.
Yeah. Bug threw me the alley-oop, you know.
Oh, you hooked you up with Lauren?
No, I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Demonstrate for Hussle. This is what I'm telling you. Don't come over here trying to then guess what? Go do something and come back. Go get cracking and come back. That's what I said, bro.
Had no ego. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me, you know, I want to get into real estate, I want you to teach me all your, you know what I mean, like your business secrets, you know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up.
Blacc Sam has always been protective of his brother Nipsey, and if he had known the truth about Diddy's dark side, he likely would have kept Nip far away from him, because not only did being around Diddy put a blemish on Nipsey's image.
Then you started kind of going hard at Nipsey. You said that there's a gay tape and like that.
Yo, Vlad, one thing you better not never do is question what come out of my mouth. You worth a lot of money. I got $5 million. You want to bet?
But there are even rumors suggesting that Diddy may have had something to do with Nipsey's death. Let's dive in. So, according to a lot of fans, the day Lauren London introduced Nipsey Hussle to Diddy was the beginning of something that, in hindsight, feels more like a curse than a blessing. That introduction led to Nipsey and Diddy building what looked like a solid relationship, both on a personal and professional level. On the surface, it seemed like a win. Diddy even came on board as an executive producer for Nipsey's critically acclaimed Victory Lap album. Diddy, in multiple interviews, even claimed that Nipsey wanted him to be his mentor. He made it sound like Nipsey was looking up to him for guidance, and that he was ready to be that mentor figure Nip needed.
Is, you know, a fan of hard work. So he's a fan of hard work and also the entrepreneurialism. And he was like, yo, man, I want you to like, you know, mentor me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nip had no ego. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me, you know, I want to get into real estate, I want you to teach me all your, you know what I mean, like your business secrets, you know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up.
But not everyone bought that story. And now, with everything coming out about Diddy, people are starting to piece things together, and it's not looking good. One person who added fuel to that fire is Gene Deal. Gene shared a story where Nipsey supposedly told Diddy that he wanted his music to carry the same energy as Life After Death, Biggie's final album before his untimely murder. Now, Gene didn't take that lightly. He warned, "You gotta be careful what you say to demons. It might come true."
He said, I wanted that same feel as Life After Death. That same feel was that Biggie got murdered. I was saying, you gotta watch what you say to demons, because it just might come true.
To Gene, Nipsey didn't need Diddy. He already had a solid team and vision. He even said, no disrespect, but he got what he asked for. And when you think about it, it starts to sound a little too coincidental. Nipsey once mentioned the album was basically done. He only went to Diddy for feedback.
I brought the album to Puff when it was pretty much done. Just got his feedback, played it top to bottom, just wanted to see what he thought. And he was like, it's room on these records to continue to produce.
But it was Diddy who pushed him to keep working on it. And considering what's happened since then, a lot of people are taking his way more seriously. Then there's that one video clip that's made the rounds online, Diddy and Nipsey in the studio. On the surface, it's just two artists vibing. But when you really watch it, fans point out this weird energy. Diddy seems to be mocking Nipsey in a slick, subtle kind of way. And overall, the vibe in that studio didn't sit right with a lot of people.
Clap all night.
But the real damage didn't just stop at awkward studio moments or weird vibes. Associating with Diddy ended up putting a dent in Nipsey's name. After his passing, all kinds of rumors started swirling around, stuff that most fans had never heard before. One of the most disturbing came from Wack 100, who claimed that Nipsey was involved in gay stuff, and even went so far as to say he had a video to back it up.
Then you started kind of going hard at Nipsey. You said that there's a gay tape and like that.
Yo, Vlad, one thing you better not never do is question what come out of my mouth. You worth a lot of money. I got $5 million. You want to bet?
Wack claimed he turned down offers to sell the tape out of respect.
I could have made a lot of money off this stuff, and I've been the one refusing to let it come out.
Whether that's true or not, it's the kind of messy, disgusting rumor that can taint someone's legacy. And this is exactly why fans are now saying it's so unfortunate that Blacc Sam wasn't there to shield Nip from Diddy. Because if anyone could have seen through the smoke and mirrors, it would have been Sam. just like he protected Nipsey from another controversial figure, Big U, who many believe might have had something to do with Nipsey's death. One major example was when Nipsey dropped You Don't Got a Clue, a track that many believe was a direct diss at Big U, especially in the first few lines.
Everybody know it's true, still act like they supposed to have control.
As soon as Big U heard the track, he and some of his people allegedly pulled up on Nipsey to confront him, but they didn't just want to check him, they wanted to discipline him. And in street terms, that meant something serious. They supposedly planned to take him away for a DP, disciplinary action. But before things could go any further, Blacc Sam stepped in. Blacc Sam stood his ground and told Big U straight up Nipsey wasn't going anywhere with them. Then there was another incident where Big U confronted Nipsey and it turned into a full-blown fight. According to sources, Big U actually got the upper hand and beat Nipsey down. But before things could go any further, Blacc Sam ran inside, grabbed a pistol, and fired a warning shot in the air to break things up.
Big U knocked Nipsey out. Blacc Sam comes out, fires 3-4 shots in the air. He's fresh out the penitentiary. Police hit him right across the street, they see it. They come in, they arrest everybody.
And even after his brother was killed, Blacc Sam hasn't changed his stance one bit. In fact, he seems even more fearless, standing on business and protecting Nipsey's legacy at all costs. A perfect example of this happened at the grand opening of Marathon Burger in Los Angeles, a restaurant Blacc Sam opened to honor Nipsey. That day, he got into a heated argument with West Boulevard Crip Rocstar2800. It's not exactly clear what started it, but from the video, it seemed like Blacc Sam made it clear. Anybody who didn't take action against the people who disrespected Nipsey Hussle wasn't welcome around them anymore. He wasn't entertaining any fake love.
Demonstrate for Hussle. This is what I'm telling you. Don't come over here trying to hey, guess what? Go do something and come back. Don't get cracking and come back. That's what I said, bro.
Even when Rockstar tried to defend himself, Blacc Sam wasn't having it. He sent him on his way right then and there. And it didn't stop there.
In the prison, ain't nobody disrespected, bro, in my prison. I'm on the internet. See him. When you see it, you know when my horse, when you see it, get cracked. Can't tell.
Another person who got pressed by Blacc Sam was Brick Baby, who to this day remains friends with Eric Holder, the man who shot and killed Nipsey. Blacc Sam confronted him about it, making it known that keeping ties with Nipsey's killer wasn't going to slide.
Me and Sam had a disagreement.
I mean, was it because of the cuz thing?
Yeah, that's why I said over the obvious. You know what it was up. Basically, it was like, you rocking with him? Like, if you rocking with him, I'm rocking with my brother. And we, you know, it really wasn't no words at first. It was all action.
According to Brick Baby, even though he doesn't agree with what Eric Holder did, he still considers him a friend because Holder once saved his life.
And it's like, I'm rocking with him. What you want me to say? I'm rocking with cuz, like, saved my life before. I ain't rocking with him over that what he did.
That's why Blacc Sam is still one of the most respected names in the game. He wasn't just Nipsey's brother, he was his shield. And even now, long after Nipsey's passing, Sam is still holding it down, keeping the marathon alive, protecting the brand, the legacy, and everything Nipsey stood for. Meanwhile, Diddy? He went from being one of the most respected moguls in hip-hop to becoming a symbol of everything dark and twisted about the industry. His ongoing trial has peeled back the curtain and shown the world who he really is, or at least who he's been hiding all these years. One story that really had jaws dropping came from Diddy's former personal assistant, David James, and it painted a seriously dark picture of what working under Diddy was like. James, who worked for Diddy between 2007 and 2009, described this terrifying situation that went down toward the end of his time working for him. According to James, one night, Diddy suddenly loaded up with 3 handguns, hopped in the backseat of a black Escalade, and told him to drive. The destination was Mel's Diner in Los Angeles, and the reason was apparently Suge Knight was spotted there, and Diddy wanted to pull up.
One of the security barged in and announced that Suge Knight was spotted at Mel's drive-in diner in LA. She said Diddy got dressed, retrieved multiple guns from the safe, and ran out.
Now rewind just a bit. Earlier that same night, around 4 a.m., James had already been at that diner with Diddy's security guard, Damian Butler, also known as D-Rock, Biggie's longtime homie. They were picking up food for Diddy and his crew when they noticed Suge Knight parked just a few spots away. Butler walked over and introduced himself. "It's me, D-Rock, Biggie's boy." Suge surprisingly didn't pop off or cause a scene. He responded with, "What are you doing in my city?" And Butler just replied, "Getting money, you know what it is." They even shook hands. Seemed like it was all cool. But then things got real. James said they went inside to get the food, and while they were waiting, 4 black SUVs pulled into the lot. Then James saw someone hand Suge a gun. That's when Butler turned to him and was like, "We got to effing go." And just like that, they jumped into the car and sped back to Diddy's mansion in the Hollywood Hills. Once they got back, instead of just letting things go, Diddy told them to switch vehicles. They got into the Escalade, and James had to drive them right back to the diner. This time, Diddy wasn't playing games. James looked in the rearview mirror and saw 3 handguns sitting on Diddy's lap. 3 guns, 3 people in the car. James admitted that it hit him right then. His life could actually be on the line. When asked later why he didn't speak up or back out, he said, "I didn't think I had the option to say something." Thankfully, when they got back to Mel's diner, Suge was already gone. Diddy told James to circle the block a few times, but there was no sign of him. A few days after that whole incident, James gave his 6 months notice and left the job for good. But that wasn't even the craziest thing to come out of the trial. One of the most shocking and disturbing moments was when Kid Cudi took the stand. So for folks who might not know the full story, let's break it down. Back in 2010, during what Cassie described as a break in her relationship with Diddy, she actually started seeing Kid Cudi, and the whole thing might have never happened if Diddy himself hadn't introduced them. Apparently, Diddy reached out to Cudi to help with Cassie's music career, and in the process, Cassie and Cudi's work relationship started turning romantic. It didn't take long before they were actually dating. But when Diddy found out, he lost it. According to Cassie, Diddy went full-on scorched earth. He allegedly threatened both her and Kid Cudi's lives, blackmailed her with explicit S-tapes he had of them, and even went as far as to extort Cassie's mother. She claimed that she had to pay Diddy $20,000 to keep him from doing something reckless, either to her or to Cudi, or from leaking those tapes. Prosecutors have been using this as part of their case to support the racketeering charges against Diddy, pointing to it as a clear pattern of threats, coercion, violence, and even arson. Because yes, Kid Cudi's car really did get blown up. And according to Cudi himself, that wasn't even the worst of what happened to him. When prosecutors questioned Cudi, they started by asking him if anything happened at his home back in December 2011. And Cudi confirmed, yes, there was a break-in. He said Cassie had called him super early that morning, around 5:30 or 6 a.m., and warned him that Diddy had found out about them. She was clearly panicked and asked him to come pick her up, which he did.
Said that day actually started with a call from Cassie herself about 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. And Cassie relayed to Kid Cudi that Diddy had found out that the two were dating, and she sounded kind of stressed during this phone call.
They asked how she was acting, and Cudi said she seemed extremely stressed and scared. He ended up taking her to the Sunset Marquis Hotel because he thought it was off the radar and safe, somewhere Diddy wouldn't think to look. But turns out that wasn't exactly true. Cudi told prosecutors he also spoke with Capricorn Clark that same morning and that she was nearly in tears. She told him that Diddy was in a car outside Cudi's house. When the prosecution asked if Cudi called Diddy, he said yes. And what did Diddy say? "I'm over here waiting for you." Then they asked Cudi what the outside of his house looked like when he got there. He said everything looked normal. But the things was he had security cameras and later found out they weren't working. He said the security cameras around his place had been tampered with, moved from their usual positions, and some luxury gifts he'd gotten from Chanel had been opened, like someone had gone through them. Even more alarming, his dog, who usually had the freedom to roam the house, was locked inside the bathroom. That was way out of the ordinary.
Kid Cudi said that he actually went home after speaking with Capricorn Clark and just kind of rushed over there. He said gifts were open on the kitchen counter, stuff was pretty expensive, it was from Chanel, and that his dog, surprisingly, was locked in the bathroom. Now, his dog normally roams around free like a lot of our pets normally do.
When the prosecutors asked how he normally treated the dog, Cudi said, "I always let him roam. I've had him for 3 years. He's like family." Then they asked, "Did you notice any changes in the dog's behavior after the break-in?" Cudi replied, "He was on edge, jittery all the time." That one answer said a lot. people close to the case believe whoever broke into the house might have messed with the dog, maybe even hurt or poisoned it. The dog clearly went through something traumatic, and while there's no proof it was Diddy, the timing, threats, and context all made people suspicious. Prosecutors then asked Cudi about seeing Cassie again after that, and he said she seemed completely depressed. He mentioned that they spent time together in Connecticut because she just needed to get away. They then asked if Diddy had tried contacting him during that time. Cudi said yes. Diddy called him multiple times, but he didn't want to speak to him. He broke into my house, hurt my dog. Eventually, the conversation shifted to Cudi's car, the Porsche that was mysteriously blown up. Cudi testified that he found out about the incident from his dog's sitter, who called to say the car was on fire. When asked how he reacted, Cudi said bluntly, "What the F?" He was then asked if he believed it was accidental or deliberate, and without hesitation he replied, "Intentional."
A few weeks later, January 9th of 2016, again a few weeks after his break-in, his car caught on fire, or not even caught on fire. A Molotov cocktail was lodged into the driver's side of his car.
Photos of the burned car were shown in court, driving home how dangerous things had gotten. If Cudi had been in the car that day, things could have ended very differently, possibly fatally. Then came the story of a tense sit-down at Soho House. Cudi, realizing things were spiraling out of control, reached out to Diddy directly and requested a meeting. It was arranged by Diddy's longtime security guy, D-Rock, along with Cudi's own manager. When Cudi arrived, he said Diddy was standing there like a Marvel supervillain, acting weirdly calm. Diddy told him, "We're homies. You know that's my girl." Cudi was confused, responding, "I thought y'all had broken up." What made the meeting even stranger was that Diddy offered Cudi water twice during their conversation, something Cudi found oddly unsettling given the circumstances. Then they asked Cudi what Cassie said at that meeting, and he said, "She told him we fell in love. Things happen." When the topic of the Porsche came up, Cudi asked Diddy straight up, "What about my car?" But Diddy played dumb, saying, "I don't know what you're talking about." Cudi said he didn't buy it for a second and walked away.
Said something along the lines of, "What are we going to do about my car?" And Diddy said to Kid Cudi, "I don't know what you're talking about." Essentially, Kid Cudi believed Diddy was lying about this because, there were some objections thrown here and there, but he kind of snuck in there that he believed that Diddy was a violent person.
Years later, Cudi would run into Diddy again at that same Soho house. This time, Diddy surprised him by apologizing. He said, "I'm sorry for all that BS. I didn't expect that," Cudi said, "but I found peace with it." Then they shifted focus to Capricorn Clark, who was Diddy's assistant at the time. "What did Capricorn tell you?" they asked, and Cudi revealed something wild. Sean Combs and an affiliate forced her into a car and made her come to my house. Cudi said he was so alarmed by that, he immediately called the police. Now, the fact that Diddy allegedly forced Capricorn Clark, his own assistant, into a car to go confront Kid Cudi is just another level of twisted. People online haven't forgotten that Suge Knight once mentioned something similar. According to Suge, Diddy beat up Capricorn Clark after finding out she had been helping Cassie and Kid Cudi hide their relationship. Suge even claimed that Interscope had to pay Capricorn off so she wouldn't go public with what she knew. If that's true, it adds even more weight to the idea that Diddy wasn't acting alone. There was a whole machine behind him helping cover up the chaos, using hush money and intimidation to keep people quiet. Now back to the courtroom, prosecutors asked Cudi, "How would you describe Cassie's emotional state that day?" And he said, "She was really shook, just by him finding out about us." He made it clear that the moment Diddy discovered their relationship, Cassie's life became even more difficult and dangerous.